week I am in Minnesota and I am driving the 2025 Genesis GV80 Coupe. Now this is built on the same platform as the SUV, but there are some very distinct differences. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to walk you through some of the differences between the Coupe and the SUV, and then I'm going to tell you 5 good things and 5 bad things about this vehicle right here. So my name is Jill Ciminillo with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and let's take a closer look at the Genesis GV80 Coupe right now. What I want to do is I just want to start talking about some of the exterior design changes that are going to show you that this is distinct from the GV80 SUV. And yeah, we'll just start at the front here. The grille is patterned a little bit differently. So you'll notice on the GV80 SUV, and I'm probably going to mess SUV Coupe up. I'm going to try not to do that, but on the SUV, there's more of a double grille pattern. So you see like a double chrome line, but this has more of a duality, a dual toned grille with the chrome, and then you have some black bits behind it. So it gives you a little bit more of a 3D depth perception to the grille design, but this right here from the front is going to be the biggest distinction, because the badging, the headlights, the signature, the lighting signatures, those are pretty similar. So as you walk around the side of the vehicle and you walk your way back, okay, a lot of this is going to look similar, but this right here is very, very different. So this has more of a sportback look to it, and that is why they call it a coupe. Not because it has 2 doors, but because clearly it has 4 doors. No, it's this right here, which kind of has this long slope that gives it more of an aggressive, sporty look, and that is why this is called a coupe. One of the really interesting things that they've done here is, even though it has this sportback, it doesn't have an egg-like shape. So from BMW, Audi, and some of the other luxury German automakers, you will notice their vehicles, they kind of look like an egg. And I think Genesis has done a really good job here, kind of smoothing this out and making it look a lot more elegant and a little bit sleeker. So continuing on to the back, another big change is going to be to this rear fascia, because I mean, obviously all of this right here is different. So you have this rear spoiler, and then you have the quad tip exhaust that are integrated into the fascia. So that's just a quick look at the exterior and some of the differences here. Let's go inside and see what's different there as well. On the inside, if you were just looking at this right here, this looks very similar to the GV80 SUV. But where you start looking at the differences is when you get to the steering wheel. This has more of a flat bottom because, again, this vehicle right here is meant to be sportier coupe than the SUV. Now, another design change that you're going to notice is this right here. On the accenting materials, there is no lacquer, yay! Instead, they've put in carbon fiber, and I think it looks really good. I like the pattern. I like the way that they've done this. They've got the accent on the center stack. They've got the accent on the dash, and it just works really well. Now, I should point out this carbon fiber is only on the top tier trim, but I like it. One more thing that I want to point out is going to be different is you have more sportier accent pieces on the interior of the GV80 Coupe. So this is a blue interior with orange accents, and you are only going to get that on this vehicle. You do have some other color options. If you don't like orange seatbelts, I happen to like them, but if you don't like orange seatbelts, you don't have to have this interior, but it is an option available to you in the Coupe that is not available in the SUV. Now there's one more big thing that I want to talk about that is different, and it's a pretty obviously big thing. So let's check that out before we get into the good things and the bad things on the GV80 Coupe. Now this right here is going to be the last and biggest thing that is different on the Coupe versus the sedan, and that is going to be the powertrain. So this does have the 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 engine, same base powertrain that you have in the SUV. However, this has a 48 volt E supercharger, which ups your horsepower and your torque. So instead of, measly 300 and something horsepower, you're looking at 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque. Now again, it is going to be in your up-level top-tier trim version of this coupe, but yeah, this right here, this is a very big differentiator. And you know what, with that, I'm just gonna segue into the first thing on my like list, because this right here is the biggest thing that I like about the coupe. This powertrain is amazing, it is fast, it is fun, and it is effortless. It moves. So this is the biggest difference and the first thing on the good list for the Genesis GV80 Coupe. Now we'll have to move to the inside of the Genesis GV80 Coupe to talk about the rest of my like list. And you know what? I'm just gonna start with the details. So look at this carbon fiber, this pattern, the texture, it just looks really, really cool. And I like how they used it throughout the vehicle on the dash and here on the center console area. It's just a nice high-end luxury look that is an incredible detail that, yeah, isn't black lacquer. So I like this a lot, but you've also got the stitching details, the seat patterning, and everything from like the beveled edges on your controls. This is a really well-crafted vehicle that has paid a high attention to detail. Now, for this specific vehicle, another thing that I like is going to be this color combo. I love this navy and orange color combo. I think it looks sporty, it's attractive, and frankly, it looks really good with this bearing blue exterior paint color. So I love everything about this. So I think they've done a really great job with these details and this color combo. Now, because I am always cold, another thing that is on my like list is the climate customization you have for the driver and the front passenger. I like the fact that if I'm cold, I can just crank up my heat and my passenger isn't going to suffer for it. You also have standard heated and ventilated seats here, and what's really cool is when you turn on your heated seat, it warms up your armrest as well, and that's actually really, really warm. And what's really good about that is the fact that I can turn on my heated seat and it just heats up this area here, whereas this area stays cool. But if my passenger were cold, turned on their heated seat, it heats up this side of the armrest as well. So I like the fact that the people in the front can customize their comfort, and I often call these marriage-saving features, but this is to the nth degree because heated and ventilated seats, heated armrest, climate control, all the things, yeah, that is absolutely like-worthy. And for the final thing on my like list, it still has to do with climate controls, but yeah, moving into the back seat, you have separate climate controls back here, and look at this, you have heated and ventilated seats back here, and by the way, that's standard. So you can control your fan, you can control your temperature, you can turn on your heated seats back here as well, and yeah, you have air vents as well as air piping out from underneath the seat. So the tri-zone climate control is the last and final thing that I have to say I truly love on this vehicle. All your passengers are going to be comfortable. It is now time to transition into the things that I do not like on the GV80 Coupe, and I will admit some of them are probably Jill specific and it won't necessarily apply to you, but they're things that maybe you should look at before you buy it to verify that they're not your problem like they're my problem. And the first thing I want to talk about is the posture care that comes with this vehicle. And essentially what it means is it will set up this seat for you in theory. So it asks you to enter driver's information. So you put in your height. Yeah, I gotta take that down. So I'm about 4'11", so I'll do 4'10" to 4'11". My inseam is actually about what did I say? It's about a 24. And then my weight, yeah, that goes down a lot. So, it reset. It doesn't let me go all the way down to where my weight is, 109 or below. So I have this set up, height 410 to 411, my inseam is about 24 inches, and then my weight is 109 or below. And now what it's going to do is it's going to analyze my driving position. So this right here, obviously not my driving position. So let's see what it says my driving position should be. So it says, obviously right now, posture analysis, this is very bad. So let's adjust the posture. So as you can see, it's moving the steering wheel, it's moving the seat forward, it's moving the seat up, and it's now saying this right here is my perfect driving position. And I'm going to tell you, this right here is not my perfect driving position. Just the tippy toe of my shoe is hitting the accelerator pedal, and so I feel like if I were trying to really floor it, I would whiff. I wouldn't be able to hit it well. And this right here, like I'm way too far away from the steering wheel. So this, if I were gonna adjust mine, I would pop it up a little bit more. I don't necessarily need to be closer to the steering wheel, but I definitely need the steering wheel down a little bit, because now I have this nice unbroken line between my wrist and my shoulder. I'm more than 10 inches from the airbag. That is what NHTSA recommends. So I'm safe. I know a lot of people talk about my driving position, but I'm safe here. And I can see over the steering wheel. I can, I feel like this is the driving position I want. And when I look at the posture analysis, it tells me this is very bad. So who's right? I think I'm right because I'm the driver. But at any rate, this doesn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for you, but it does not work for me, and therefore I don't like it. All right, there are a lot of good things going on in the second row, but I have to tell you, this is probably not one of them. Now, they've done a decent job of scooping this out a little bit, so somebody who's an average sized person is gonna be able to sit back here in moderate comfort. Now, don't pay attention to this because this is my driving position, and yeah, that's limo-like legroom here. But somebody who's on the taller side of the spectrum is not going to be able to fit back here very well. I have a friend who is 6'9" who sat back here, and he said that he was like kind of hunched over like a giant trying to sit back here. So if you have tall children, if you have a tall adult you're trying to put back here, this is not, even though it's fine for an average person, not going to be fine for somebody who's tall. And while it's not a big deal and it may not be a problem for you, I think we have to point it out and put it on the do not like list. And that means you have to be your own best advocate and you have to test this yourself to see if it works for you. Now, the thing that makes this sporty could also be problematic, and it is going to hit the number 3 slot on my do not like list. And that is going to be this right here is going to remove 3 cubic feet of cargo volume from your cargo area. So if you have taller boxes, if you have bigger items that you need to put back here, it could be a little bit problematic. Now, because this does not have a 3rd row, this does have a deeper space to go back a little bit further, but it's going to be this area right here that is going to be the pain point. So if you carry a lot of cargo, again, this is going to be something that you have to test. Genesis says that the target person for this vehicle is more likely somebody who doesn't have kids, just starting out in their life, dual income, no kids, or they're empty nesters. So no strollers, no things like that. But if they're empty nesters, there's the chance there could be a stroller back here. Just gonna say, they probably have grandkids coming. So definitely something that you need to look at. And yeah, again, it's just not a lot of space. And for the final 2 things on the do not like list, we're gonna flip the camera around and we're gonna focus on this area right here. And you know what? I'm gonna call your attention to this button right here, and we are just gonna start with the auto stop start system because, yeah, you're gonna wanna push this button. As much as I love the powertrain in the Genesis GV80, the auto stop start system in this vehicle is not very refined, and when the engine turns off and turns on when you are stopped at a stoplight or a stop sign, it goes go. It does not feel very smooth, and I would expect better from a vehicle like this. So just, yeah, hit this button and you don't have to worry about it. Now, you're going to be surprised here, but the final thing on my do not like list is, yeah, this right here. I did not have my phone in here for very long, like maybe 15 minutes. And when I took my phone out of this, it felt like a hot potato. So if I had kept my phone in here any longer, I have a feeling it would have overheated and it would have powered down the system. And it would have stopped charging my phone, all the things. So if you follow me at all, you know how I feel about wireless chargers. If they aren't going to work, you need to just do without them. Don't put them in your vehicle. I've had a lot of people say, but it's your phone, it's your case, it's you're the problem. I'm not Taylor Swift, I am not the problem. The problem is there's no Coupe pad in here. General Motors gets it right. Wireless charging in General Motors vehicles always works. It always keeps my phone cool, it never overheats, it always works. And because wireless Apple CarPlay is now going to be standard on Genesis vehicles with the 2025 model year, you're probably going to want to use wireless charging. This should work well, and it does not. So that right there is going to round out my do not like list on the Genesis GV80 Coupe. All right, it is time for some brief driving impressions for the Genesis GV80 Coupe. And I have to tell you, overall, first impressions are really good. I like how it drives. I like the seat comfort when I'm not using the posture control thing. And I just generally enjoy this powertrain. 409 horsepower is nothing to sneeze at. And this is going to be a vehicle that you would get if you are looking for something that is fun to drive and you occasionally need to store stuff in the back. Taller passengers probably not so comfortable in the second row, but yeah, people my size, totally gonna be fine. So what do I want to say about the Genesis GV80? I like how it drives, don't like the auto stop start, I like the materials. This is a great vehicle. Yeah. I think that is, in sum, what I want to say about the 2025 Genesis GV80. Thanks for sticking with me through this brief first look review. Brief. And I will see you down the road.